going to be dark up here. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Cull, A.D. Cull, Coach Conlon, Hammer family. Congratulations to Mr. Marin, and hello to Mr. Abromavage, who I just met. It's kind of a sweet irony that it was John Costantino and Rich Marin Sr. who were the catalyst to bring my father to Fordham to help boost the Fordham football program. When my father attended Fordham, he tried to play football under the then coach, Vince Lombardi, who remarked as he sent him on his way that he would be good at many things, but football wasn't one of them. Their Hall of Fame plaques hang side by side in Caniff House. But Neil Abromavage. He was a standout wide receiver at his Norristown, Pennsylvania high school with records in single season and career receptions, records that still stand today. I'm sorry, I'm too far away from this. He came to Fordham and played during the foundational years of the IAA, which I thought I knew what that was, but then I looked it up, and I did. It was the very beginning of us re-entering Division I. He earned many, and by his own report, only academic honor roll accolades while studying in the Jesuit core liberal arts curriculum and majoring in accounting, not in football. My father would appreciate that. Since Neil's graduation in 1993, he has remained in New York. He is a New Yorker, and Fordham is his school, and New York is its home. His financial career was marked in early years by work at Ernst & Young, where he specialized in auditing and consulting hedge funds, investment managers, and broker-dealers. This led Neil to attend Columbia Business School to learn more about the craft of investment and securities analysis, which ultimately brought him to Wall Street and a 10-year career as co-head of Deutsche Bank's Financial Institutions Equity Capital Markets team. For the last several years and to date, Neil is managing director of Bank of America Merrill Lynch in their Financial Institutions Group, FIG, where he co-leads the asset management and FIG-focused private equity sponsor coverage efforts. One notable other achievement of this much accomplished man, putting his financial acumen to work, Neil was an official counter at Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest. Outside of Neil's work, his generous heart and steady presence support the education missions of both Fordham University and Columbia Business School. He is a consistent financial supporter of Fordham athletics, including Fordham football, mentoring high-achieving athletes. In a recent tweet from one of his sessions, a student expressed profound appreciation for his presentation. And it is clear from the photo that they posted, every student was rapt by what he had to say. Neil and his beautiful wife, described by him, it's true, Sonia, have 3 children who are busy in their own lives in college and high school, all athletes, 2 runners and a swimmer so far. And that made me realize that Neil ran the New York Marathon in under 4 hours. Neil was also described to me this evening by one of his friends, and there are many here, who have known him some for quite a long time, that he has always been the same person. The Neil they knew at 10 is the Neil that you see today. He is consistently steady and remarkable friend. He is a man for service to others. Neil, you exemplify support, loyalty, and passion for Fordham and its football program. And it is with great pleasure that I present Neil Abromavage with the Walsh Award.
My wife's going to be happy that it's a lot smaller than the one Rich got. Trust me. Well, thank you, and good evening, everyone. Rich, congratulations. We've known each other a long time, and congratulations on the Mara Award. And I say that to congratulate you, but also because I stand up here and listen to what you say, and I think about your dad, who had a tremendous impact on all of us. And I cannot stand up here without, thinking about how he showed us how to really do all this and why we need to support Fordham football. And I look around this room, a lot of faces. We come here every year the last 20, 30 years, and we see each other at the games and at the events, and we get to go out to Nebraska and watch Greenhagen tackle somebody 31 times and do a lot of fun things like that. But the faces that are looking back at me that knew Rich Sr. know what I'm talking about, and Deborah touched on a little bit of that as well. I mean, he would say things like, men and women in service for others, whether you were here or at Meet the Recruit event, at a bar, downtown. It was always very inspiring. And another thing I remember him saying quite a bit in the times that we spent together was, with success comes an obligation to give back. And, he was a lawyer from central New Jersey, but had this very Jesuit way, and he spelled it all out for us. So congrats, Rich. And I imagine you're finding this moment as surreal and as undeserving as I am. And this is fantastic for me. College football, Fordham football. We are extremely privileged to have college football at this university. In my view, it's the greatest game ever invented, bar none. And I could not imagine not having college football as part of the fabric of this university. So that's really important to me. And when I think about Mr. Walsh, I think about what he did and the things that he did to make sure football could find solid footing and prosper at the 1AA FCS level, put it in its proper place. This university had a period of time where there wasn't any football, and I would never want that to happen again. So I think about that when I'm up here as well, and all of our sort of duty to sort of make sure that this continues, this proud tradition, and what we all love so much. So I think about that as well. And that takes us to, the William D. Walsh Award. Wow. Thank you. Deborah, Peter, thank you very much. It's amazing what you can find out about people through LinkedIn and the internet these days. And fantastic job. But thank you, seriously. Extending this tremendous honor to me. Thank you for joining us this evening, as you have done so for so many years, the last 15 years or 20 years or so. Thank you. Thank you for continuing your dad's legacy. It's super important. I'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. And finally, thank you for appropriately reminding us all that, giving back some of our time, some of our talent, some of our treasure, it's important. It's important to maintaining these proud traditions. These are institutions, and they won't go forward unless we're helping them go forward. And that's a real message to the seniors in the room. You're young, you're coming out of school, come back, engage. Many of the things that Rich said, many of the things that I'm going to say, many of the things that Ed Cole said. So Bill Walsh, he did things in big ways, very noticeable ways. It was mentioned earlier, library, athletic center, Hall of Honor, all of that, his treasure, if you will. But I think if you knew him and you talked to others about him, you'd find out that he did things in very subtle ways and in smaller ways too. His participation on the board, I understood him to be trusted counsel to Father O'Hare, and then trusted counsel to McShane. So basically sharing his valuable time and his well-developed talents in order to further, what this university would like to accomplish and further elevate its place, on the college landscape. And for that, we all owe him a tremendous debt of gratitude. For me, very similar to the impact that Mr. Marin had on me, Mr. Walsh also encouraged me to get more involved and find different ways of supporting football. Didn't have to be monetarily initially. It was buying season tickets, coming to games, mentoring kids, trying to help them find jobs, being around and encouraging others to be around. And he and Dave Clausen, former coach here, we sat down at one point, 20, 22 years ago, and was very simplistically explained to me kind of what they needed to do. And this wasn't monumental stuff. This wasn't about building libraries and stadiums and stuff like that. It was very, very basic. In fact, if you talk to Coach Conlon, at some point today, he would probably say the same things that Clausen said. He needs the same things. He needs a recruiting budget. He needs compensation for staff and coordinators. He needs more training facilities. He needs better nutrition. He needs better wellness. He needs all the things that are super important to recruit, develop, and maintain student athletes. These kids are double majors. They're majoring in a sport. They're putting in well beyond the allotted time that the NCAA would tell you you're allowed to. And they're majoring in something academically. It's a huge commitment. So 22 years ago, I don't remember exactly when it was, they embarked on a plan, which was the Walsh Challenge. It was devised very basically, very simply, but it provided me with the template of how to give back some of my time, treasure, but now more importantly, time, talent, and more importantly, some treasure. And what they constructed then still serves as my sort of template today, and has grown with me as I've gotten more successful professionally. And I think as I thought back on it, many of the things that were said by Ed and Rich, it's the power of participation. It's the benefits of compounding participation over a very long time is how you build and fund these institutions, and that's super important. This is a bit of an arms race in sports and academics and things of that nature, and it's fueled by us. So once again, Deborah, Peter, thank you so much. It's a tremendous honor. I'm truly honored. I'm absolutely humbled to be recognized this way. It is a bit awkward. I was looking at the list of the 15 prior recipients of this award, and I'm absolutely flattered in one sense, and then in another sense, I'm totally motivated to figure out how we do more together to further build what's going on here. So super important that way. And then I also was sort of thinking about my playing career and things of that nature. When I looked at the list, I also feel like I won the fewest games, 4 in 4 seasons, which completely debunks the notion of why give when you're not winning. Clearly, I never got that memo I've been giving, and that's not the point. That's not the point. But the real point is how do we crack the code to get more folks involved in order to benefit from that power of compounding, that power of participation. That's really the trick and what we're solving for here in order to fuel this program. And I know I'm talking to people that are actually in this room and come to these things, but we got to get the word out. And I think Ed's probably tweeting this as we speak, so probably it's getting out here right now. If I know Ed's proliferation and on social media. But as Ed mentioned Tanya Tetlow, she's coming, and I've been hearing great things outside of this ecosystem about her perspective and how talented she is, and from people that I really, really trust. Mentors of mine, on Wall Street who know her from different institutions. So let's show her what we've got. Let's put a thrust into what we can do here and let her know how much of a priority, Fordham football, Fordham athletics, the things that we care about here are to us, so that she's endorsing them as well. And then just as we sort of wrap up here, a couple of quick thank yous, and I know nothing destroys a relatively short set of remarks faster than a long list of thank yous, but I won't go too far with all this. I do thank everyone from all the facets and dimensions of my life who've come here to support us today. Some of you have been here a number of times, some of you have never been here, so thank you for coming. Sonia, thank you for so much. You've so much to be thankful for, but thank you for letting me indulge in my passion for college football. My mother passed away 2 months ago, and my dad, my sister, and my brother are here, which is great. And in a weird way, this is how I guess the universe listens to things. Today's her birthday, so it's. So clearly, none of this would have been possible without her. She's up there proud, and this is great. So thank you again. That's all I have. Great. Thank you.